We are a channel that helps you learn a new language through stories. Enjoy the video.
Hello everyone! In this video, you will learn how to communicate in a job interview in English. You'll also learn many American terms commonly used in real interviews through a short and fun story where Lady Death is overwhelmed with her tasks and decides to hire an intern. Let's get started. Death's internship interview. Once upon a time, in a dimly lit office hidden between the realms of the living and the dead, Death had finally accepted that he needed an assistant. Processing souls day and night was exhausting, and he'd begun to lose track of who was going where. The final straw was when he accidentally sent a 90-year-old grandmother to the Purgatory Lounge instead of the Eternal Bliss Suite. So he set out to find an intern, but not just any intern, a competent one who wouldn't run screaming the moment they saw his bony fingers. After posting a job ad on Linked Afterlife, Death sat down, cracking his knuckles, and awaited his first candidate. The door creaked open, and in stepped Timothy, a nervous but determined young man clutching a resume. Death. Welcome, Timothy. Or should I call you Timmy? Timothy. Timothy is fine, sir. Death. All right, Timothy, tell me about yourself. This question, tell me about yourself, is one of the most common in interviews and is used for candidates to summarize their experience, qualities, and career interests. Why do you want to work in the afterlife department? Timothy. Well, I've always been fascinated by existential questions. I, majored in philosophy and thought this position would align well with my long-term goals of soul processing? Long-term goals is an important term frequently asked in interviews to understand the candidate's future plans and how the current position aligns with them. Death. And tell me, what would you say are your strengths? Strengths refers to the qualities or skills that the candidate brings to the position, often asked to evaluate how these abilities might benefit the job. Timothy. Oh yes, I'm very detail-oriented, a common expression indicating someone pays close attention to details, quick on my feet, and, well, I'm quite comfortable working in fast-paced environments, a term used to describe dynamic, high-energy workplaces. My previous position at the call center was quite harrowing. Death. Detail-oriented, fast-paced environment? Good. Now, what about your weaknesses? Weaknesses is asked to understand where a candidate might need improvement and how they handle their limitations. Timothy shifted uncomfortably in his seat, realizing he was being asked the dreaded weakness question. Timothy. I sometimes, tend to overthink things. Like, way overthink things. But I'm working on it, sir. This answer shows that the candidate acknowledges an area of improvement and is trying to address it, which is seen positively. Death. Overthinking, you say? That's an interesting one. Noted. Now, Timothy, imagine it's your first day, and you're assigned to reallocate a soul who is misfiled in the underworld. How would you go about fixing this logistical error? Timothy fumbled a bit, scratching his head. Timothy. Well, I would first assess the situation, an important expression meaning to analyze the situation, and identify the root cause, find the cause of the problem. Then, I'd contact the involved parties, another phrase used to indicate communication with the people involved, and ensure the soul is redirected to the appropriate eternal resting place. Collaboration is key, right? Collaboration is key is a phrase indicating the importance of teamwork. Death nodded, impressed. The kid might actually have potential. Death. And what would you say is your biggest accomplishment so far? Biggest accomplishment refers to the candidate's greatest achievement and is a common interview question to see what they consider a success. Timothy, feeling the pressure, searched his mind for something noteworthy. Timothy. Well, I once managed to keep a group of screaming toddlers calm during a blackout. I organized an impromptu puppet show using only shadows. They stopped screaming for a whole 20 minutes. Perseverance and creative problem-solving, I'd say. Creative problem-solving describes the ability to solve problems in new and innovative ways. Death chuckled. He liked a bit of creativity. Death. I see you have time management skills on your resume. This position requires someone who can handle, let's say, eternity management. Care to elaborate on how you plan to keep up with an endless flow of souls? Time management skills is an essential skill indicating the ability to organize and plan time effectively to complete tasks efficiently. Timothy: Of course, I'm all about prioritizing, setting priorities. I'd focus on high-priority souls first, and then maybe develop a more streamlined system, simplified and efficient system, to keep track of everyone, perhaps some kind of, celestial filing system? Death leaned back, nodding thoughtfully. Death: All right, Timothy. One last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 centuries? The question, where do you see yourself in 5 years, is typical in interviews to understand the candidate's aspirations and commitment to the company, but here it's adapted for an eternal context. Timothy paused, considering. Timothy: Well, ideally, I'd like to grow within the company, advance within the organization. Perhaps start with basic soul allocation, then work my way up to senior soul reaping, and maybe someday become a Grim Reaper myself? Grow within the company is a common expression indicating a desire to build a career and take on more responsibilities. Death tilted his skull thoughtfully. Death: Ambitious. I like it. All right, Timothy, I'll be frank. The hours are infinite. There's no health insurance because, well, you're kind of between life and death, and the pay is purely existential satisfaction. Do you accept the position? Do you accept the position? Is the final job offer question to confirm if the candidate accepts the role and its conditions. Timothy's eyes lit up. He wasn't sure if it was the ominous surroundings or Death's weird sense of humor, but he was strangely excited. Timothy: I accept, sir. When do I start? Death: Now, grab a scythe and let's see if you've got what it takes. As Timothy reached for the scythe, he felt a chill, but also a thrill. This was going to be the internship of a lifetime, or maybe several lifetimes,